just as a little takeaway, for the end of the video, I summarized all of the things that I mentioned. So if you want to read that, go ahead right here. So this is in my little trading journal. I just made a new channel called Lessons because I don't want to be repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And also the trade that I called at the end of the video played out. So enjoy the video. It is a good morning and we hit max loss today. Let's get it. So as you can see, we have minus 1,000 over here. Let's see. Why did this happen? So yeah, today's price action was not even that bad, but for some reason I just didn't trade well at all. I was a little bit shook by the loss of yesterday, and instead of being calm, I doubled down and made it worse. So I didn't see that there was news at 8:30 this morning, but if I did, I probably would have taken this trade as a short into here. After it tapped these highs, there was a nice fair value gap, and I would have shorted it into here, into these lows, and that would have been pretty nice, for like 30 points. But then my analysis was pretty much on the 15-minute chart, there's a fair value gap over here. So my analysis was it'll go down to clear these lows and tap in this fair value gap, and then it'll go up. But my execution on that was not very good. So first of all, it was up here, right? So if I'm expecting it to go down there, I don't know why I'm waiting for it to go down so that it can go up when I can just be shorting the initial move and then I can be done for the day. Because if it doesn't line up with my time, then like I can't long it for no reason when it's going down, right? So it tapped this and I was trying to go long all in here, but look at this disgusting delivery. So I pretty much would have gotten stopped out on every single one, and that's exactly what happened. And then also at some point I thought, okay, maybe it's holding this, but it didn't. It went up, it set up equal highs and made this disgusting trend line. It didn't take anything up here, and then it made a fair value gap. So yeah, today was just not good at all, and I was really trying to long it when it was going down. Even here, okay, it held the 15-minute fair value gap. There was a balanced price range under here because of this. And yeah, I was also trying to long after this whole thing happened, but I just couldn't get an entry without getting stopped out. So I took so many trades today that I'm not even going to go through every single one. I'm just gonna go to a 1-minute time frame and show like how many freaking losses all over the place. I did have some wins as well, so I was being patient there, but okay, wait. So there's losses all in here, there's losses all in here, there's losses all in here. Yeah, here, here. And some of these trades were bad, some of them were good, but I still got stopped out even on the good ones. And I did start the day off with a $250 profit. I took a win here, I took a win here, and I took some losses in between, so I was up on the day at some point. But that doesn't really matter when yesterday I lost 400, and today I had the intention of just getting it back no matter what. So yesterday when I said I would let the loss sit with me, it looks like I didn't let it sit with me long enough because I was really impatient to make it back and today's delivery was not supportive of the models that I like to trade. So yeah, if I was here at 8:30, I saw this when it had already moved because I didn't realize that there was news at 8:30, and the previous days I'd been getting on the charts like at like 7 or 6 and just watching it do nothing for like a few hours. So I decided that today, so that I don't have to test my patience, I would come on at 9 o'clock sharp right here, so that I could catch the opening range and see what it wants to do. So obviously I did see that this was taking out the highs and I thought it could go lower, but for some reason I didn't manage to catch it into the fair value gap that I was looking for. Even on the 3 and 5 minute, okay, there was this. I even saw this in real time, but I couldn't quite get what I wanted. There was too much back and forth, and I trail my stop very quickly, so on a day like this, that's not very useful. So yeah, these were the equal highs. It got taken, and then I managed to get a short into here, but I wanted it to go down faster than it did. So on this time frame, it looks like my trade was bad, but that was actually one of the few good trades today. Where was it? Yep. So yeah, selling this fair value gap, and once again didn't quite trail it tight enough. So this is 58, this is 53. Could have gotten like $100 extra. That would have definitely been helpful. Yeah, I don't really want to talk that much today about all of this. I want to maybe take a little bit of a break because my profit has gone down. I'm still up on the account, which is unbelievable, but it's plus 500, which means from the high of 2000, I only have $400 of drawdown or something like that. Let me actually check. So my minimum balance, or my max loss limit. Okay, my max loss limit is actually above 50k. Oh, cool. It doesn't follow you up after 50k. That's nice. Oh no, I just lost. Okay, never mind. All right. So, yeah, if it goes down to break even, I have $400 of drawdown. So this account is basically blown. But if I manage to take some really good trades, I could still manage to pass it. Even here, it was a win. Yeah. Tough day. I don't know. Not much to say. My analysis has nothing to do with the fact or the reason that I lost. The reason I lost is because I was too impatient. I went back to what I was doing last year, really longing just random little fair value gaps on the 5-second chart, not waiting for the 1 minute to show me anything, supporting it. Like in this entire area, the 1 minute was showing absolutely nothing helpful for my analysis, and I am not nimble enough to trade the 5-second chart, which is why I use the 1 second chart or the 1 minute chart as part of my analysis, because I want high risk to reward so that I have the leeway of having incorrect analysis sometimes. But today I just didn't use the 1 minute at all, and I was on the 5-second, and it's really difficult to make profit on a single time frame in the way that I'm trading. Because, for example, if I had long this fair value gap and taken profit over here, that's how you would trade one time frame. But I'm trying to long it on the 5-second and hold it for 1 minute targets. And you can't do that unless the order flow on the 1 minute is also supportive of the trade idea. So, yeah, I was also trying to long it all day, and I wasn't being very patient. If there was a fair value gap on the 1 minute, obviously once it made these equal lows, I wasn't very happy with it. Probably should have waited for it to take them. So yeah, for example, right now, even now, it's not moving as nicely as I would have wanted if I was trading it. For example, I would have wanted this fair value gap, but okay, let's say that this is a balanced price range. It swept these lows, so this is okay. But this one, there were just too many mohawks, and yeah, I would have had to wait 3 minutes to see it fully hold and then enter up here somewhere, and also the targets would have been unclear. So let's look at that for a second. So yeah, it hasn't really hit any targets even on the 5 second chart. There's no inefficiencies in here. There's just a few highs, but none of them are this full high. So potentially I would have to wait for 850, that macro. Let's look at the 1050 to 1150. It went down. So yeah, this could have been nice if my analysis was on point, but it wasn't. So yeah, and even here it set up these equal highs. So let's see, I think it was here, right, at 55. Yeah, 55. So it made this higher high, but didn't take this. Okay, in theory, yeah, this does look pretty good, because once it closed within the fair value gap and started moving lower, there were plenty of fair value gaps that I could short. So yeah, it's just that I was looking for longs because it had already taken out all of these lows and all of these fair value gaps. So I was looking for longs, and I was just pushing it too hard. So this is not going to be my last account, obviously, and if I do blow it, which is at this point likely to happen because I only have $400 of drawdown, then I'll be back with a fresh account, and we're going to take the lessons that we've learned from failing and we're going to apply them, and hopefully very soon, well, I shouldn't say that, hopefully if I follow the process, eventually I'll manage to get an account. And also, this is not how I would be trading if the account was actually funded, so I should take that into consideration, that even though it's a demo account, the only way to make profits is by trading the way that you would anyways, because otherwise you're being a little bit reckless and chances are you're gonna hit drawdown. So this was the only good move today at 1150 to, or at 1050 to 1110. So it's nice to see that that macro is still nice and obvious in hindsight. Obviously in real time I was not paying attention to that because I thought, how can it possibly keep going down? It set up all these equal highs, but the order flow was in fact bearish. So yeah, and then let's see, is there anything? Yeah, so at 950 to 10, it went down into the fair value gap. So if I shorted any of this move right here, it would have been nice. So there was potential for profitability, but I fumbled the bag. And yeah, for example, this fair value gap right here could have been nice to short, or this one up here, the low risk sell. Yeah, so it's okay. We lose and we come back stronger. I can't say that I'm not disappointed in myself, because this is the way I was trading last year and it was going so well until I lost. And I just couldn't keep my patience and I couldn't keep my cool-headedness. and I started taking little trades. Like, let's look at the performance center. I probably took like 50 trades or something. Yeah, so I made 600 in profit and I lost a bunch, and my winning trade percentage wasn't even bad. How many? Okay, 20 losing contracts, and yeah, so I took 30 trades. Yeah, that's a lot of trades, guys, and commissions were also actually not even that bad. It was just losing. So, yeah, once it held this, I should have considered shorting it. And also, afterwards, when it started going long as I expected it, my shorts were just, or my stops were just too tight because I didn't want to lose more because I was already losing, so that also doesn't help. So I should potentially limit my number of trades to 2 or 3, so then I can risk a decent amount on all of them so that I don't get stopped out prematurely. And then if my analysis is correct, it can play out. So yeah, once again, my read on the market was not entirely incorrect, but my execution was pretty bad due to impatience and trying to chase it and thinking it already made the move. Like, once it started breaking down here, I was like, oh my goodness, I missed it again, and it's gonna go all the way to this low or something. And obviously that's not likely to happen because it's been chopping around all day, and I could have easily caught this move on the way back up. And yeah, so I'm assuming it's gonna take at least these highs. So let's say I had a login here and I held it, this would have been $800 of profit. So assuming that I'm trading one contract, which today I traded one contract on a lot of my trades, but on some of them I took 2 contracts because I thought, well, I'll make it back faster if I'm trading 2 contracts, which once again is not the right mindset. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this analysis and trade recap. Not very nice, but losses have to happen, especially when you're a beginner, because how else am I gonna learn? I learned pretty much nothing from my winning trades, because when I do it right, I'm like, great, I did it right, and then I move on. But when I lose, I can really analyze, what did I do wrong? Why did I do it wrong? And yeah, so once it did this trend line, this is pretty much my takeaway. Once it did this, and it chopped around like this, it wasn't trying to move very quickly, because if it was, it would have made a fair value gap, a bullish fair value gap after it tapped this low. But it didn't. It chopped around and then it took this out one more time, and now it's finally running for a little bit of retracement into lunch. So I do need to take more attention to the time of day, because I like there's a lot of moves that happen. I can trade the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I can trade every single one of those macros, 9:50, 10:50, and lunch macro, and 8:30 and 9:30 opening, especially because I'm on such a low time frame, and I just have to be patient and wait for the next one if I miss something, and not try to chase it, especially after it's already reached the target. So yeah, I just have to be more mindful of the time zones. I think that's also a takeaway from this video. For example, here it took this out at 9:30. So at 9:30, everyone trading breakouts would have been caught long, and these lows were barely swept before 9:30. So this could still count for a support zone if people were trading that as well. And then this breakout. And these lows I had marked out. Obviously, now I've removed a lot of the drawings I had while I was trading because I'm doing the recap and because I was trading for a long time. So my annotations changed because my focus was on different things. But yeah, I was expecting these lows to be taken and these lows, and they were. So I definitely could have traded that. And I attempted to trade that, but my stops were too tight, my entries were not the best. For example, if I had shorted this fair value gap instead of this fair value gap, I would have probably trailed my stop harder after this happened because I would have been in bigger profit. But because I was so late to the party, I let my stop be further away just in case it comes back up and continues going lower because I wanted to catch a bigger move. So that's another thing when I'm trading one contract. If I'm going to take 30 trades regardless, might as well take profit on a trade that's in profit, because once it sweeps these equal lows, if it comes back up here, this is a turtle soup and it's going to go long. So if I'm going to trade 30 contracts, I don't want to be taking break even or slightly losing stops on everything. I'd rather be taking slight profits, or if I'm in big profit, just be taking that off, because then we're locking in profit. We have a buffer if I do something wrong afterwards. And yeah, also the wins will build up if I take profit earlier, because on a lot of the trades I was in profit, but then uh, managed to take a loss anyway because I was just hoping for more movement. And yeah, also don't be longing in premium like this. Don't be longing in premium. Don't be longing in premium here as well. Wait for this fair value gap to hold. And then, yeah, as you can see, this perfectly ticked out my stop because I was keeping them so tight just because I had already lost. And that results in even more losses. If I'm in profit, trail it to this fair value gap right here. Even if it's going to do this, and my entry is here, I don't want to take a loss, right? So it's going to go slightly above break even. But if it's going to be slightly above break even and get taken out anyway, might as well jam it up in here so that there's bigger profits. And yeah, here again as well. Once it does this, takes out this high, it shouldn't really retrace if it's bullish. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. Also, yeah, here I tried to short it and barely got stopped out right before it ran massively. This really upset me because I knew that my stop should have been here and it wasn't. And I got stopped out right before a big run. And this run, so my entry is here at 26. This run, let's say that I would have trailed after it went down here, I would have trailed to like here. So this would have been 25 points of profit, which is $500. So that is a significant amount on a 50K account for TopStep, because it's basically half of the drawdown limit per day. So I wouldn't even be close to blowing my account if this trade held. And also this trade, again, stop was way too tight. It did go where I expected it, which was this high. And I don't even know if I would have taken it off here, because today I just wasn't managing my trades very well. And I should have had a TP over here, you know, if I didn't get stopped out, and I didn't get stopped out again. But you never know, because I was being greedy and I might have tried to hold it to up here somewhere and it would have obviously never gone there. And I would have gotten stopped out again. Here again, this was a terrible entry. There wasn't a fair value gap. There was nothing. And yeah, so once it went up here and took out these highs, I should be at least putting it at break even, because then I can't lose. And if it's going to take out these highs, it's going to do it quickly. It's not going to let people be in it. And then, yeah, I think that was my last trade, because at this point I actually reached max loss on TopStep and I'm not even allowed to trade anymore. So if I click any of these buttons, it's not even going to enter a trade. But this, at this point, finally it was going to start going up. And yeah, so this fair value gap held, and then it came back down, and this balance price range held, and this would have been probably a really good trade if I had long this balance price range, stop right here, and then it goes up, retraces a little bit, gives more potential entries. So probably wouldn't take this one because of these equal lows, and this came pretty close. But once it makes another fair value gap, then I'd be confident, and then it went straight up. And there's no targets being hit yet, but I would have to partial at minor buy side, because yeah, it's just a slow day, and even now it did not hit the highs that I was hoping for. But it is 1150, which means that there's going to be some kind of movement. Don't really know where, because this fair value gap's not holding. Maybe it'll clear these lows and then go up into these highs finally, which is what I've been waiting for. But I'm going to end it here. Hopefully I can learn from the mistakes I made, because this is not the first time I'm making these mistakes, but it's nice and embarrassing that I'm forcing myself to post it on YouTube. So I don't want everyone to think that I can't trade, because I think I can, but I just need to be more focused, more disciplined, and pick my shots. Especially in a day like this, I should just get off the charts, because it's moving so slowly. I'm definitely gonna get chopped out. And the way I like to trade is fast days on the lower time frames. Like my stop can be really tight, and then it'll move in my favor like 20, 30, 50, 60 points, something like that, and we can be done. But yeah, I'll see you guys at some point. Probably going to be blowing the account tomorrow, because yeah, $400 is just not, I'm not going to trade micros. It's TopStep, you get a free reset if you blow it. Well, it's not free, you pay for it by waiting a month. But yeah, at this point the account is basically blown, so we're going to try to get lucky. We're not even going to try to trade it properly. And then we'll start a fresh one. But yeah, if we do get lucky, you never know, might actually pass it. So yeah, see you guys soon.